Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Skull Session Recruiting Podcast. We've got our 2024 recruiting capsules kind of rolling here. National Signing Day. Buckeyes hoping to sign another top 5 class. We're breaking down all the signees as the letters of intent roll in. So keep an eye out on the channel for those throughout the day. We're also doing a live stream, again, youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle. If you want to watch our live stream, capturing all of the signing day action, Ryan Day's press conference, analysis, breaking news as it happens. If anything involving Ohio State or nationally, we'll be around to talk about it. We're here to answer questions. So head on over to that after you watch this. But Glenville pipeline back open for business. Damarian Witten, tight end in. Bryce West, cornerback in. We'll be talking about Bryce West here. A top 100 cornerback prospect, Cleveland Glenville. Same thing. We're going to talk about. If you watch this one, you watch the Aaron Scott one, it's going to be kind of the same thing in terms of a little angst. Oh, he's not actually going to go to Michigan, is he? No, he committed to Ohio State. Buckeyes beat Michigan for him. I know there was all sorts of panic and hysteria that they were going to lose both Aaron Scott and Bryce West to Michigan. The two top corners in Ohio. Not happening, folks. Bryce West, Buckeye, will be arriving in January as well. So gets an early start on his career. Kevin, we've seen a lot of Bryce over the years. I've seen him in the last 2 state championship games. We've seen him, mid-season, early season. We've seen him camps, combines. We've got a full, I think, evaluation there on Bryce. But just your thoughts on Bryce and how important this was for Ohio State on both the Glenville front and just getting these corners from Ohio and into the fold.
Yeah, I think there's still Michigan writers bound and determined to tell us that he's going to Michigan. But no, that did end up happening. 10.93 was like the last 100-meter time I had heard for Bryce West. I mean, fast, a little shy of 6 foot. He gets the white glove treatment a lot of times out there on the field. Teams just don't go at him. There's part of me that wishes I could have seen him more in coverage in terms of having to, actually defend as opposed to just go out there and jog with the guy because they were just not going to go at him. But, just huge because Glenville produced so many great Buckeyes through the years and then dried up. And then Arvell Reese last year was kind of the guy that broke the dam again. And now they're getting 2 guys, including Bryce West, who, is right there in terms of top guys from the state of Ohio. I mean, cornerback is such an important position. It's so huge for Ohio State to have 2 of them from within the state boundaries that, I think both players did listen to other schools that were talking to them, certainly had those flirtations, but, the strong pull to stay home was there and they both stayed home. But, I think this Bryce West really sets up as a big get for Ohio State. And I know there was a lot of excitement amongst Buckeye Nation once they got him, because once again, it was not only just getting the player, but it was also keeping him away from that other team.
Right. And it was unfortunate Bryce didn't get to play in the state championship game this year. He went out for warmups. We were watching him and he has a bit of a shoulder thing that's been bothering him. And I think Glenville was such big favorites that, he dressed, they kept him on the sideline, but wasn't able to go, and they won 38-3. So there was never really a decision to make as far as having to insert him in the game. So I kind of felt bad he wasn't able to kind of go out by actually playing, but he did win his second state championship. But, he did play throughout the year. And again, he's a guy who can play inside. He can play outside. He's a tremendous cover guy. He's a physical kid. He was one of their leading tacklers, and he kind of played almost like having another linebacker out there, kind of the way he supports the run. So that was one thing that jumps out to me, again, is the physical type of player he is, the type of tackler he is on defense. But again, he's got those cover skills. Here he comes again, peels off his guy, makes a huge hit. Definitely not afraid to throw his body around. So the question is going to become, with Aaron Scott, with some of the other guys they've recruited in the secondary, does Bryce play on the outside, or does Bryce settle into like a nickel, like a Jordan Hancock role where you need a bit of a more physical guy, maybe a guy who can blitz a little bit, tackle in the box a little bit? That's going to be the interesting thing for me to watch. I personally think he's going to be a dynamite slot corner, but we'll see what Ohio State does with him. I'm sure they'll cross-train him the way they do a lot of their other guys.
Yeah, and that cross-training, I mean, the ability to play all those different spots, and, Ohio State with its nickel defense certainly has 3 safeties out there, with the nickel sometimes being a safety, but sometimes could be a corner too. And I think that that Bryce West and Aaron Scott, when you have the 2 of them together, give Ohio State a lot of flexibility with what they want to be able to do, and they can certainly change up some looks. And I'm not sure what the plan is going to be. I think that's going to be one of the things that you ask Ryan Day during the signing day presser, and you'll be like, oh, we just want to get him here first and just kind of check it out. But I think that both these guys certainly have the skills and have the abilities to succeed in multiple fronts. And I think that's part of the excitement of it all.
Yeah, and we kind of saw that nickel position evolve a little bit this year to more of a corner. Jordan Hancock is a corner by trade. So from year 1 to year 2 of the Jim Knowles experience on defense, we kind of saw that 5th nickel spot go to more of a corner type. So we'll see. He certainly could play on the outside. He's got the ability. He's got the competitiveness to play out there. He's a really competitive kid, which Aaron Scott is as well. It's kind of what I really like about those guys. They're not not short on confidence. They're not, they're not people who have a lot of self-doubt, and they're able to quickly move on to kind of the next play if they give up a catch or something. So these are competitive kids. So that's really, other than just the ability to run, you got to be able to really run them to play corner. Other than that, the competitive fire and the kind of the short memory is just super important. And so Bryce has that for sure. He brings a winning pedigree, and we're talking about, the first Glenville state championships were won on teams that Bryce was a huge part of. So kind of a theme on a lot of this, these Ohio guys. You've got Bryce West, Damarian Witten have 2 state titles. The Armstrong twins have 3 state titles. Aaron Scott has 3 state runner-ups because of the 3 state titles the Armstrong twins have. They beat his team every year. So there are a lot of winners in this class, especially from the state of Ohio, but a lot of guys who are used to winning, a lot of guys who I think will understand. Again, I think understanding the rivalry, I think one thing that was interesting to me for a long time, really since like Brady Hoke left, Michigan and Ohio State were not getting into a lot of battles. Players seem to eliminate one or the other very early. They didn't seem to have a lot of these, they both offered me, but I went to one and it just wasn't my thing. And so I went to the other one, and it wasn't much of a decision. There's some guys in this class, West, Scott, a few others, who were like kind of down to Ohio State and Michigan, basically. And so I think that also will bring a unique perspective to the rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly were kind of the outliers in terms of where things have been recruiting wise, with it being Ohio State and Michigan all the way to the end. And I promise you, there are going to be a lot of Michigan fans that are not going to forget, because they were certainly sold a bill of goods that these guys were coming. And because they didn't, there's going to be a special spot in the hearts of all these fans for these 2 guys. And if a Michigan receiver gets one over on them, they're going to hear about it. And if West and Scott get one over on the Michigan receiver or tight end, they're going to hear about it too. So I think it's exciting, and it's good for the rivalry. I mean, of course, for the people that we're talking to, they all want to see Ohio State win every recruiting battle. We know that's not possible, but they won both of these, and that was very important.
Yep. So another big summer splash for the Buckeyes, and now in the fold, Bryce West. Glenville pipeline continues. Our recruiting capsules will continue as well here at youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle, or you can listen to these on your podcast platform of choice. So please subscribe to the channel and like the videos if you haven't already. Helps other Ohio State fans find us. And same thing, if you're listening on podcasts, if you can leave a positive rating and review, or subscribe through your feeds on whether it's Apple or Spotify, whatever you use, that also helps other Ohio State fans find us, which helps everybody involved. So appreciate everyone watching and listening, and we'll get you another one of these here very shortly.